Folks, welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show. As you know, we come to you from Midtown Manhattan in our beautiful palatial studios. And I love when we go down to where the weather's warm for our next guest, as we did that yesterday with Florida Congresswoman Ross Laitman, and she rubbed it in that it was so warm down in Florida. I know Mark O'Mara, defense attorney extraordinaire, will not be rubbing it in that it's so warm down in Florida. Hello, Mark.
Hey, Steve, how you doing? I promise not to even mention that it's 74 degrees here.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know what? It'll be 74 degrees here in about May, so we'll get you. We'll catch you.
I like the cold weather. I just don't want to shovel sidewalks anymore for like $2 a driveway. That's way too much money, way too little money for too much work.
No, you're up there now. I think you're in the $5 category. Actually, all right. Anyway, well, I'm glad you came on. Thank you for coming on. And
sure.
I'm interested because I see some headlines around that says that there is a bar inquiry, an ethics complaint, and your name is on it, and it's over something dealing with the George Zimmerman case, and I think it relates to the website that he launched or you launched for him. Correct?
Yeah, well, sort of. What happened is, what came out yesterday, which really frustrating to me, it was sort of a fragment of a story because all it was there's a file open. But I sort of have to blame myself because what happened was the third week I was involved in the case, I found out that George had started this website, for donations, and I shut it down, and I called the Florida bar, and I said, look, this guy has a website. He's asking for donations. If I'm going to be a lawyer, I want to do it the right way. How do I do it? And then we also talked to them about, at that point, how to do a Twitter account and a Facebook page because we had come up with those ideas to try and respond to the hundreds and hundreds of media inquiries. So I was the one who called the bar, the ethics hotline, and said, how do we do this the right way? They opened up a file, gave me some ideas. We talked back and forth for a couple months. And there's no grievance. There's no, you did something wrong. Actually, they said I did it all correct, and they gave me some ideas how to make sure I was doing it correct.
So, okay, so you kind of initiated an ethics inquiry against yourself?
Well, in the worst terms, yes. What happens in Florida, there's the discipline side, when you do something wrong, but then there's an ethics hotline where you call in and go, hey, I want to do this. I want to advertise this way. I want to, put up a weather balloon with my name on it, and they tell you whether or not you can do it. Well, I use them as a resource to make sure that I do things right in a number of different areas, and one of them was, look, my guy wants to put up a website to try and get in donations. Can I do that, and can I be attached to it, and what do I do? And I'll give you an example. The one thing they said was, he can donate, he can ask for donations, but you should not get the money directly. You should go to some third party, which, if you think about it, makes a lot of sense. So that's why I put that third-party administrator in place, and I never touched the money. So that was one example of why, talking to the bar made a lot of sense.
All right, so now this was put on hold till after the trial. So this file is still open, or is it now closed?
Correct.
Where are we?
Well, what happened was it's supposed to be reviewed every 30 to 60 days because it was put on hold to sort of watch what I was doing with the website and with the Twitter account. For example, if I had started advertising myself on that website, like, hey, I'm a great lawyer, you should come to me, that's advertising that's very regulated by the Florida bar. So they kept it open to watch what I was doing, and it was supposed to be finalized and closed after the trial, but they just haven't gotten to it yet. Now that it's been put on the front burner, the Florida bar has told me, don't worry about it, no real concerns here. We're going to get to the file and review it and close it out as soon as we can. So I'm hoping and expecting it to be done by the end of the week.
Okay, well, that's good news. Let me ask you two more questions. And by the way,
sure.
Mark O'Mara, of course, is a CNN legal analyst. I should point that out as well. Let me ask you, are you surprised? I mean, did you ever know that George Zimmerman had artistic talent? Because according to reports I'm reading, an original piece of artwork painted by Mr. Zimmerman is selling for nearly $100,000 on eBay. As of this morning, they had 98 bids placed on the piece listed as there's there's what is it called? The real George Z. And if the picture is any indication, it's like an American flag, and it says liberty and justice for all. Were you aware of his artistic abilities?
Not beforehand, but I tell you, if he's doing something to keep himself busy and to be sort of a focus for, all the emotions that he has wrapped up in what was done to him for the past 18 months, then great, more power to him. I'm glad he's doing something very constructive with it. And if it makes him a few bucks, great. I'm very okay with that.
Yeah. Personal question. Are you still entitled to a chunk of that or no?
Well, I have, George and I have an agreement. He owes me some money for the work we did, and if he gets a whole bunch of money somewhere, well, I'm sure we'll talk about it all. But,
I got you.
He's got to still pay his own light bills and take care of not being able to work because of what this case has done to him. So he's got a lot on his shoulders.
All right, let me ask you, and if you tell me that I have to do it this way, I want to talk about the 911 call by the girlfriend. If you say you can't because you're affiliated with him, but you don't represent him anymore, then I'll make it a fictional case. But either way, isn't it against the law to call 911 and lie? Because it's happened apparently twice. It happened with the ex-wife, who we heard on the tapes. He put a gun to my head, or put the gun in my face and beat up my father. Then, it didn't happen. Then the girlfriend, we all heard that. You get that, effing gun out of my face and blah, blah, blah. Then she's, he never put the gun in my face. So if they're saying I want the charges dropped, I don't want to press charges, it never happened, I mean, can't they be prosecuted for calling 911 and making stories up? You can't have it both ways.
Yeah, to answer the direct question, it's a false report of a crime if you call up and say a crime has occurred and it hasn't. So my understanding from reviewing it, and again, sort of as an outsider, just the way you would, what she said was that she didn't exactly say that the gun was used in a threatening manner, that she may have misunderstood what the police were asking her. So, it's one of those cases. I deal with all these type cases for 30 years, and sometimes in the cold light of day, you look at it and remember things a bit differently. I'm just, quite honestly, I really want George to be able to move on quietly in his life, and if this is one of the steps in that direction, I'm okay with that. All
right. Listen, Mark, great talking to you, sir. Have a Merry Christmas, and next time you come up to New York, give a buzz. Absolutely.
I'll be glad to. I'd like to see you again.
All right. Thank you, Mark.
All right.
Mark O'Mara, ladies and gentlemen, of course, defense attorney, and George Zimmerman's former defense attorney, and also CNN legal analyst here on the Steve Malzberg Show. So, answer to a trivia question, I doubt he's the first, but who's the most prominent attorney you know of today that ever filed a ethics complaint against himself? Mark O'Mara, he did it. That's pretty bizarre. And I can't believe the $100,000 bid. I hope, for his sake, I hope it's a legitimate bid. But that's the story here. 98 bids as of this morning on eBay for Zimmerman's piece. It's a canvas painting of the U.S. flag in different shades of blue with the words God, one nation, with liberty and justice for all in white letters on the flag's darker shades of the blue stripes. And it says, first hand-painted artwork by me, George Zimmerman. Everybody's been asking what I'm doing with myself. Let me tell you what the rest of it says here. I found a creative way to express myself, my emotions, and the symbols, blah, 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 blah. So, there you go. If he gets $100,000 for that painting, that's pretty good. I wish George W. Bush would put some of his sketches. I saw what he gave to Leno. The portrait of Leno, that was pretty good. Yes, indeedy. All right, so there you go. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be joined by Laura Hollis, a columnist and a professor of business law at the University of, you might have heard of this university, Notre Dame. Did she write a blistering column about Barack Obama, Obamacare, and his presidency? Wow. I mean, blistering, pulls no punches, none, on the Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.